Hello, my name is Alexis Prevo. It's April 28th, 2025, and this is my final presentation. Hello, my name is Alexis Prevo. It's April 28th, 2025, and this is my final presentation. Hello, my name is Alexis Prevo, and today I will be presenting Chapter 15, Carbohydrates of Physiological Significance from Harper's Illustrated Biochemistry, the 31st edition. Through this presentation, we'll explore the structure, classification, and essential roles of carbohydrates in the body, along with some clinically relevant concepts. This chapter is crucial because carbohydrates are fundamental to our bodies, providing energy, building structure, and playing key roles in many biological processes. To start, let's look at the broader biomedical context of carbohydrates. The glycome refers to all the sugars found in an organism, which is the entire complement of sugars in an organism, and the glycobiology is the study of these sugars in health and disease. The field of glycomics is growing quickly as we're discovering more about how sugars influence everything from cell signaling to immune response. Diabetes mellitus, galactosemia, lactose intolerance, and glycogen storage disorders are all diseases associated with carbohydrate metabolism. Look at the carbohydrates overview. Carbohydrates are organic molecules composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, hence the formula CH2O. They're essential for metabolism, energy storage, and structural roles in cells. Whether it's the glucose fueling our brain or the structural support of cellulose in plants, carbs are everywhere. Nearly every cell in the body relies on them in some form or another. Now to classify the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are classified by the number of sugar units. Monosaccharides are the simplest form of a carbohydrate, and we'll start with monosaccharides. Monosaccharides include glucose, fructose, and galactose. Examples of these include glucose, which is our body's blood sugar. Fructose is found in fruit, and galactose is part of milk sugar. We can further classify them by the number of carbons. Trioses have 3 carbons, tetroses have 4, pentose has 5, and hexose have 6. They're also categorized by their functional group. Aldoses have an aldehyde group, while ketoses have a ketone group. Finally, we have isomers, which are molecules with the same formula but different structures. This includes D and L forms, epimers, such as glucose and galactose, and anomers. We'll further discuss these topics in slides to come. When 2 monosaccharides form, they form a disaccharide. Disaccharides like sucrose, lactose, and maltose are joined by glycosidic bonds, which will form when a water molecule is removed. You can see from this table breaks down common disaccharides. For example, sucrose is made from glucose and fructose, which is found in cane sugar. The clinical significance here is that rare genetic lack of sucrose leads to sucrose intolerance, which can include diarrhea and flatulence. Another example would be lactose found in milk, which is made from glucose and galactose. Clinical issues like lactose intolerance and sucrose intolerance can arise when people lack the enzymes needed to break these down. You can see through the table from the chapter some other examples of disaccharides. Further into our carbohydrate classification include oligosaccharides, which contain 3 to 10 monosaccharide units, and they are often found in glycoproteins and glycolipids, which are important in cell recognition. Oligosaccharide chains encode biological information depending on their sequence and linkage. Polysaccharides are 10 plus monosaccharide units. Polysaccharide examples are starch and glycogen, which serve as storage, while cellulose and chitin have structural roles that provide support in plant and animal tissues. Glucose and its structure. Glucose plays a central role in energy metabolism. Glucose is the most important carbohydrate in human metabolism. It is vital for energy use, storage, and structural functions. Most of the dietary carbohydrates we eat are converted to glucose, making it our body's primary energy source for our cells. Glucose is also known as dextrose in solutions used in various healthcare settings, such as D5, D10, and D50. I frequently use D5 solutions at the bedside as an RN when giving IV medications that include D5. If my patient has a low blood glucose of less than 50, I will administer an IV syringe of D50 to rapidly increase my patient's blood glucose to a safe level. Structurally, glucose can form rings like pyranose and furanose and has many isomers. Important isomer types include anomers, epimers, and optical isomers. It can exist in 16 different isomeric forms due to its 4 asymmetric carbons. We can distinguish D and L isomers. This refers to the orientation of the hydroxyl group on the last chiral carbon. Glucose is often also an optical isomer. Then the ring structures, the pyranose is a 6-membered ring, furanose is a 5-membered ring, mannose is an epimer with carbon 2, galactose, carbon 4, and then aldose ketose isomerism is reducing sugars. So here are some more structures and images of the glucose epimers and the pyranese and furanose forms of glucose. Excuse me. And shows all the different forms and structures. Pentoses are 5-carbon sugars with important roles. Ribose and deoxyribose are key components of nucleic acids and cofactors like ATP and NAD+. Ribose is found in RNA and several coenzymes. Ribulose appears in the pentose phosphate pathway, and other pentoses like arabinose and xylose are found in plant-derived compounds and glycoproteins. This image is another chart from the text. You can see the source of xylose is plant gums and glycosamine glycans. We can take other several metabolic intermediates. Hexoses of physiological importance. These hexoses include glucose, which is our main metabolic fuel and blood sugar. Fructose is found in fruits, honey, and other processed foods. Galactose, important in milk and glycoproteins. Mannose is found in plant gums and used in glycoprotein synthesis. You can see where the biological importance as well as the clinical significance. You can see that the glucose is excreted in urine with glycosuria and poorly controlled diabetes mellitus as a result of hyperglycemia. It's very important in the clinical setting. Okay, the formation of glycosides. Glycosides form when a sugar's hydroxyl group reacts with another molecule that produces a stable acetyl linkage in the anomeric carbon. These are found in nature and include important compounds like cardiac glycosides, which help the heart, and antibiotics like streptomycin. They're widely distributed in nature. As mentioned, the cardiac glycosides are important for heart function. Digoxin is a medication that is a cardiac glycoside that is used to affect heart function in the healthcare setting, and I see it frequently used at the bedside. Less common anymore these days, but more common in recent years. The glycemic index measures how fast a carbohydrate raises blood sugar. It is a ranking system to help determine how quickly the carbohydrate will raise blood glucose levels. High glycemic index foods like white bread cause a spike, while low glycemic index foods like legumes release glucose more slowly and steadily. This influences metabolism and insulin response. This system is especially important for diabetics when managing their blood glucose levels daily. Carbohydrates in cell membranes and lipoproteins. Carbs are also key structural parts of cell membranes. Glycoproteins and glycolipids make up about 5% of the membrane weight and contribute to the glycocalyx, which is important for cell recognition and signaling. Glycocalyx is a protective and signaling layer on the cell surface. An example would include a glycophorin, which is a glycoprotein that spans red blood cell membranes and helps in cellular recognition. Contains 130 amino acids spanning the lipid membrane. In summary, to summarize, the carbohydrates are fundamental for energy, structure, and communication. They're classified by structure and sugar units, including mono, di, oligo, and polysaccharides. Glucose is a central player in metabolism. Nearly all carbohydrates in food are converted to glucose for metabolism. Starch and glycogen are major storage polymers for plants and animals. Starch is the major fuel in our diets as humans. Carbohydrates also impact clinical issues like glycemic response and enzyme deficiencies. To finish up my presentation, I have a few quick quiz questions. What are two monosaccharides that make up sucrose? The answer would be fructose and glucose. What food is low on the glycemic index? And this answer would be legumes. What does the term glycomics refer to? The answer is the study of all sugars in an organism. Question number 4, what's the storage form of glucose in animals? The answer is glycogen. And then the final question, which disaccharide is found in milk? The answer is lactose. And then finally, these are my references from Harper's Illustrated Biochemistry. Thank you all for listening to my presentation.